Today, I'd like to invite you to a profound reflection on something many of us seek, often without even realizing it, a connection that goes far beyond physical attraction or superficial affinities. You know that feeling of peace, of familiarity and belonging when you meet someone and everything seems to fall into place. It feels almost magical, but in truth, it is the manifestation of something very real, which happens when two souls are vibrating on the same frequency and are ready to meet. It is as if the universe conspires for this encounter to take place at the exact moment when you have already done the inner work to recognize this kind of love. Today, we're going to talk about this rare relationship, which involves energetic alignment, mutual growth, emotional clarity, purpose beyond the personal, spiritual confirmation. And we will also reflect on what the Bible teaches about the importance of walking alongside someone who shares your values. To begin, close your eyes for a moment and imagine a relationship that does not bring fear, confusion, or anxiety, but instead a profound state of peace. This is the starting point. When you meet someone with whom there is energetic alignment, everything seems to flow naturally. You don't feel the need to strive to be accepted or understood. There is no constant urge to impress or prove your worth. The other person's presence becomes a safe space where you can be exactly as you are. This relationship is marked by an emotional clarity that many people don't even realize is possible. There are no mind games, no ambiguous messages, nor that feeling that everything could fall apart at any moment. On the contrary, the connection becomes a safe harbor. It is calm, familiar, and at the same time powerful. It feels as though your body and mind can finally relax, knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. In practice, this kind of bond manifests in this way. You feel you can talk about absolutely anything. There is no fear of judgment. The exchange of energy is balanced. No one is giving more than they receive. There is mutual acceptance without the need for masks. If you've experienced this, you know it is unlike any other relationship. And if you haven't yet, it is important to know it does exist and that you have the power to attract it when you become vibrationally compatible. Another essential aspect of this connection is mutual growth. This person does not come into your life to complete or fix you. They appear as a mirror, a clear reflection of what you already are and also of what you still need to heal. That's why, quite often, old wounds and patterns begin to surface. But unlike toxic relationships, here these issues don't arise to hurt you, but to be recognized and transformed. In this safe space, you have the courage to look within and ask yourself, what patterns have I been repeating? What does this relationship bring up in me that still needs love and understanding? How can I become a more authentic and mature version of myself? When you come together, one inspires the other to grow. Your conversations become deep and full of meaning. You start sharing insights, reflections, and achievements. This dynamic means that personal evolution accelerates because there is genuine support, respect, and encouragement. This is a love that does not limit, it expands. Many people believe this kind of encounter can be forced, but that's not how it works. It arrives at the perfect time, neither sooner nor later. When you are ready to receive and offer love consciously, the universe begins to align all the circumstances. It's common for these relationships to appear unexpectedly. After a phase of inner transformation, when you finally learn to be content in your own company, when you release the need to control and hand the process over to something greater, synchronicities begin to happen as little signs that this meeting is being guided. You may notice repeating numbers like 1111, 2222, 555, coincidences that seem impossible to explain, recurring dreams about the same person or theme, feelings of deja vu when you look into the other's eyes. These signs are reminders that everything is connected by a greater purpose. They show that there is a divine order sustaining your journey. When you start to notice and respect these signs, trusting the flow of life becomes natural. You stop fighting against time and begin to allow everything to unfold at the right moment. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this kind of relationship is that it isn't limited to emotional support. There is something much bigger happening. This union becomes a portal to fulfilling a shared purpose. Together, you feel you have come into this world to leave a mark, to create, to have an impact, to transform. It might be a life project, a social cause, a purpose-driven business, or simply a way of living that inspires others. When the relationship is based on this purpose, you become soul allies. Everything gains deeper meaning. You know that your meeting did not happen merely to satisfy the ego or desire. The connection is liberating. It doesn't suffocate. It doesn't imprison. It invites expansion. And together, you build a legacy that goes far beyond each individual story. Finally, there comes a moment when you realize that this connection does not resemble the ones you've known before. It doesn't have that destructive intensity that brings anxiety. It has depth and serenity. In your heart and soul, you feel that something much greater is sustaining this bond. Quantum physics calls it energetic entanglement. Spirituality calls it a divine encounter. Whatever you call it, the feeling is unmistakable. You recognize the other without needing many words. The feeling goes beyond the rational. There is a natural trust in what is being built, and it is this quiet certainty that sets this experience apart from all the rest. You might now be wondering, but how can I know if this connection is true or just a reflection of my own neediness? The Bible offers us clear guidance. In Amos 3:3, we read, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" This verse reminds us that two people can only walk side by side if they share values, vision, and purpose. It is exactly the opposite of an unequal yoke. An unequal yoke occurs when there are irreconcilable differences of faith or principles, conflicting priorities, a misalignment of purpose. In these situations, the relationship becomes a constant source of strain. But when there is deep agreement, everything feels lighter. The connection is nourishing. It adds to your life rather than taking away. Today, modern science is beginning to confirm what spirituality has always taught. Quantum physics shows us that everything is energy. Our thoughts, emotions, and intentions have a frequency. When you raise your vibration through inner healing, gratitude, and presence, you become able to attract relationships that resonate on the same frequency. This is the great secret. True love is never found in desperation. It is born in clarity and wholeness. It does not arrive when you feel incomplete. It appears when you recognize that you are already complete and worthy. So if you are searching for this connection that transforms, I invite you to start within. Cultivate peace. Embrace your healing process. Allow divine timing to do its part. And trust the signs. Always remember, what is real does not cause confusion. What comes from the divine does not bring scarcity. What resonates with your soul does not limit, it liberates. If this message has touched your heart, share this video with someone who also needs to hear it. And never forget, you are worthy of living a connection that expands, heals, and transforms. True love does not need to be forced. It simply happens at the perfect time, in perfect alignment, with a purpose greater than you can imagine.